Hi everyone, it's April with Hair 101 and I'm finally getting to my toning video. I've been promising this for a long time and for some reason I just never could get down here and just commit to doing it. So I'm going to just show you different toners and what they look like on hair. And so I have several of these just hair wefts. This is real human hair, and this is not, it's not the best way to do it because these have been dyed, they've been chemically treated, and all hair wefts have been. That's how they get them all the same color. They just use a bunch of hair and they sew it together and then they dye it. So it's going to be a little bit different than if you were toning hair that you're lifting out from virgin hair, just because the underlying tone might not be exactly the same, but I'm going to do my best with these because I didn't want to make someone have like 7 different toners on their head. So what I'm going to do is take these and bleach them out with different developers. I'm going to do a 10 and a 20 and a 30 and a 40, and then I'll just do like something crazy with this one. I don't know, maybe leopard spots, I don't know. And then we'll leave them on until they're the right underlying tone, which would be, we're going to try to get a red underlying tone, an orange, a yellow, and like a white, like a really, really, really light blonde. So this one will probably be really damaged at the end just because it's already been so chemically treated. You can get natural hair to that really pale white, but once you get hair to that color, the platinum, it's like, that's the only, you can't bleach it anymore. Even if you were to dye it again, you can't put bleach back on that hair because the integrity is it's gonna be so fragile from being bleached so light and removing all pigment that it's going to be very fragile. And so you have to make sure that if you have lightened hair all the way to platinum, that you don't darken it and then bleach it again, because it's gonna start breaking off at that point. So, and someone was asking me in one of my other videos why it was okay to put some bleach back on hair. And in the video that I was doing, it was the star panel. And that one, she still, like, her hair hadn't been bleached out to platinum white. It had only been bleached out to the orange undertone. So that's why it was okay to put more bleach on it, because it still had pigment to be removed. So hopefully that makes sense. You would just, yeah, past the white hair, all of the pigment's been removed, and if you keep bleaching it, it does start to break. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to get some foils out, and I'm going to be bleaching out the whole section, and then I'm only going to tone half of the section so that you can see the hair toned and untoned, or toned and untoned, whatever. So let's start with a 10 volume on this one. I'm using just this might be fun. Hey, how about we use some different bleaches? I'm going to use this Redken Blonde Dimensions with a 10 volume. And then I'm going to compare it to a 10 volume with the For Me CD Color Cream. So we can compare what the lifts would be like in these 2 different bleaches. So let's do that. I'm just going to be mixing up just a teeny bit because we don't need a ton. I need to do the 40 first because that's going to need to process the longest to get that really white. So we're doing 40 volume first, and we're going to use both the D-Color Cream and the Blonde Dimensions. These are the 2 main bleaches that I use. I also use the Blazing, but I'm not going to use it today because that's too many bleaches. I just picked my favorite 2. Now I'm going to use just a little bit of the Blonde Dimensions and then some 40 volume in here. And mix it up with my paintbrush, my color brush. Okay, I decided I'm going to do this whole thing in the Blonde Dimensions, and then I'll do another one in the For Me so that we can see. And I'm going to have to label these just to make sure we keep them straight. And I'm not going all the way up to the weft top because I don't care, because this is not on someone's head. So I'll leave a little bit of the natural, what the original hair color was up there. Okay, so I'm painting this on 10 volume Redken Blonde Dimensions bleach. So I guess this video is really comparing the Blonde Dimensions bleach to the For Me and a toning video. So you're getting kind of a 2-for-1 here. That's how much I love you guys. Okay, so there's the 10 volume, and I'm just gonna lay another piece of foil right on top of it. And then I'm gonna label it with a pen. So this is the 40 volume. I'm just going to label this one 40 volume. This is the first one that we did. So I labeled it 40 volume with the Blonde Dimensions Redken. So there's that. And we're gonna go put this over here. Now we're going to do the 40 volume with the D-Color Cream. Okay, so here we go with the 40 volume for Missy D-Color Cream. So there's the 40 volume with the D-Color Cream. And I'm just gonna label this one so we know what it is. All right, I'm gonna go set this one by the other one. Now we are going to do the 30 volume. So let's mix up this 30 volume Redken Blonde Dimensions and then some 30 volume for the D-Color Cream too. Here it goes, here's the 30 volume, and let's do the Blonde Dimensions first, just to keep track of what's going on here. I'm getting nervous that I'm gonna bleach all my clothes out, so I'm putting this cape on. I should have done this at first, but I forgot, forgive me. And then I'm just gonna lay tin foil over the top, and then I'm gonna peel away the back side and just make sure that the bleach is, see how it's not very saturated right there? I'm just gonna paint the other side. And I do this a lot when I'm weaving also, just to make sure that the coverage is really good. And then I'm labeling this one. Now we're doing the For Missy 30 volume D-Color Cream. So on to the 20 volume. And I'm gonna start with the Blonde Dimensions just because that's what I've been doing. Don't know why. Okay, and this is the 20 volume for Missy. Sorry, everyone. All right, last one. So we are using the 10 volume now. This is the Blonde Dimension one. And we'll label this one 10 volume. Last but not least is the 10 volume of the For Missy. So I have all of these processing now. I'm going to process them at room temperature for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to check all of them. I'm going to do one more foil and do 40 volume developer and process it with heat and just try to blow all of that color out and see how light we can actually get this weft to see if we can get like a platinum. Yeah, technically I should not be bleaching these at all, but it's not really on someone's head, so I don't care. All right, this one's going under the dryer. So these 40 volume ones have already been processing for 20 minutes because, sorry, the dryer's on with that platinum one. So you're just gonna have to try to hear me over it. So they've been processing for 30 minutes already because I did them very first and it took me, well, okay, so 20 minutes. These have been processing 20 minutes. So we're gonna check them and see how they're doing. Oh, see, look at that orange. That's definitely an orange undertone. So I want to have one that's an actual red undertone. So these ones are going to keep going and try to get lighter. And let's check on the 10 volume, even though that's only been processing just a little bit. I want one with a red undertone, which I think is going to be hard because I don't have any black wefts. But that actually might be good. I'm going to wipe a piece of this off. I mean, it's already actually kind of a red undertone, just the natural redness of it. So we really might not need to do too much on these. I'll let it go for a few more minutes and then a few more minutes on that. Let's see the 10 volume Redken bleach, see how that's doing. Actually seems to be lightening a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm gonna rinse this one because I need something that's more of a red undertone, and I think this one's gonna be the closest. Okay, I have rinsed the Redken one, the Blonde Dimension, in the 10 volume, because we just needed a teeny little bit of lift just to let some of that red orange out. And it's still more orange, I think. I need black wefts in order to do that. But you know what? It's going to be good enough. You'll be able to see what the toner does to it, because I don't have any black wefts. So you know what I will do? I'm going to color this with a red to show you so we can have more of a red undertone. Okay, so we're gonna put a Shades EQ 5 Red Violet on this, because we want it to be red. Okay, that is definitely going to be red. So now we're talking. So this needs to process for 15 minutes to deposit all of the red in there, and then we will rinse it and use this one as our green toner example. And the 10 volume for Misi is actually pretty light too. We're gonna go ahead and rinse this one. So here is the Misi with the 10 volume. And you can see that it actually lifted it to a really pretty tone. So nice, I like that. It's still more of like an ashy tone. So I noticed that with the Redken on the 10 volume, it was a little bit more orange, and this one seems to be a little bit more of an ashy tone. So this is the Misi 10 volume, and I really like how it lifted on tone. It kept the same tone, it just lightened. That's really cool. I'm impressed. I really am loving the Misi Decolor Cream right now. So we're gonna check the 20 volume ones now. This one is the Misi, and let's compare it right next to the Redken. Pretty similar. I do think that the Redken has a little bit more orange tone to it than the Misi. I've been noticing that pattern. So I'm gonna go rinse out the Redken one first. Okay, that is our Redken. Here's the Misi. I'm gonna dry this one now. Okay, so here is the Misi 30 or 20 volume, and here is the Redken 20 volume, and there's really not too much of a difference here, but this is the Redken and this is the Misi. I think they're really similar. So let's do the 30 now. Let's see how light we can get this 30. The Misi seems to lighten a little bit more ashy and a little bit quicker. I'm gonna stick these 30 volumes underneath the dryer also. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to go rinse out the red and have a look and see how it's doing. Okay, so here's the red. This is what I would look like with red hair. Oh, it's beautiful. Ooh, I like it. Maybe I'll just pin that in and wear it the rest of the day. All right, awesome. Okay, so there's the red, you guys. You can see this is the original color of the brown. I bleached out this and then added the Redken. I only bleached it out with 10 volume, and I think this was the Redken, and then I colored it over with the Redken Shades EQ 5 VR, which is a violet red. So that's how we got this really pretty color, and this is a gorgeous color. I would do this on someone, but it definitely wouldn't be as vibrant as this as if you were just putting it over brown. It would add a tint of the red to the brown, but if you did it on lightened hair, it would be really vibrant like this. So now I'm going to show you what a toner will do to this. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty color of red, but if you didn't want the hair to be red, or if someone came to you and they were like, I just want to be like a neutral brown color, so can you just get rid of this red on me? Then you would need to neutralize or tone this red out. So toning is really useful, and it's necessary to know when you're coloring hair, because this doesn't necessarily need to be all bleached out and then recolored brown. If the person wanted to keep the same tone, like look, these are very similar. They're not that much lighter. If they wanted to be this color of brown, you would just need to put on a green brown on the ends because green will neutralize out the red. I'm gonna get out my color wheel again and show you guys. So this is the Scruples color wheel that I got with my, the blazing kit. And so if you go over here to this red, if you go all the way across, like they're always opposite ends of the color wheel. Those are the colors that neutralize each other out. Yellow and purple, blue and orange, red and green. So if we have this really pretty red color, we need to put on a green in order to neutralize it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a green, and since this is already dark, it's like a level 5, I'm going to put like a 5 green on it. If you did a 9 green, it wouldn't have enough pigment in it to really get rid of the red, and it would kind of just neutralize it just a little bit, not enough to really cover. So that's one thing you need to remember about toners is they will only deposit in color, and they will only deposit on color that is lighter than the color you're sticking in. So if I have a 5 and I put a 9 all over it, it really won't do much to this 5. It will, if there was blonde highlights next to it, it would make the blonde highlights green if I stuck a green toner on. So you need to make sure that when you're using these toners that you are toning the lightest hair in the head. If you have someone that has a weave that has like brown and blonde, and then they have some red chunks and they just want to get rid of their red chunks, you need to weave the red chunks out and apply the green color onto just those pieces that you are weeding out. You can't dump it all over the head. If you dumped it all over the head, you would end up with green blondes and then kind of a brownish where the red was, and then a mousy brown on the browns. It will take a green sheet and just put it over all of it. So you don't want to do that. If you're just trying to get rid of green or red highlights, you need to take a comb, take a section, take a comb, weave out those reds, put them all in a foil, and paint the green onto that foil. So we're not dealing with that right now. We're just dealing with this huge weft. So I'm going to show you what it will do when you tone it though. Okay. So I spoke too soon because I looked at my color cabinet and I didn't have any of the 6 gold or the 6 greens. So I do have an 8 green, so I have 8 GN, and that's going to have to be good enough. You'll still see that it does something. So we're going to stick this 8 GN, which is Ivy, so it's like a green, on half of this red and see how it tones it. So you mix this 1 to 1. So I'm just going to do like a little 1/2 or 1/4 of an ounce because we don't need too much, just a 1/4 of an ounce. And then add the processing solution. And with Shades EQ, you have to use this processing solution. You can't just pour in like 10 volume, it wouldn't work. I mean, I'm sure it would do something, but probably not what you want it to do. It would lift too much and the colors wouldn't be correct. So make sure you're using the correct developers when it matters. What I mean by that is I use like the generic 10, 20, 30, 40 volume creams for the color fusions, and I haven't had any problems with them. But for specialty stuff like this and like the blazing, even the blazing I use just like a generic clear, but you have to make sure that you're using the clear and not the cream if it calls for that in the color line. So I don't have, there's really no substitution that I know of for the Shades EQ processing solution, so I just always buy the correct brand. And it works great. So, okay, so here we go. I'm going to just split this in half and keep half of it over here off the foil. And you can dump it, you can just do whatever you want just to get it all in there really good. This is going to be a lot faster. And it might not take all of that red tone away because like I said, it's only an 8 and I would really have liked to put the 6 on there. They have one called Moss and it's a 6 green GN, but I don't have it. I'm so sorry. I thought I did, but I don't. So we're gonna have to deal with this. Okay, we have all of that juicy green in there. Ugh. Let's cover it with the foil. And this is going to process for 15 minutes. So this is the 10 volume for Misi that we had, and it has a little bit of a orange reddish, I guess you could say. It's more orange, but let's put some of that green on here and see how it goes. Okay, here's a 10 volume from the Fermisi, and I'm just gonna put the leftover green on it. It's not really red, but we'll see what happens when we do the green. It will take out any little bits of that red undertone that is in there and bring it back to a more ashy neutral color. So here, we'll just play with it. So now we're going to move on to our oranges, and we're gonna do a blue toner with those. Okay, so for this, I'm going to mix up same 1/4 of an ounce of the 9B. It's sterling, it's the Shades EQ from Redken. Just like a 1/4 of an ounce and 1/4 of an ounce of the developer. So you can see this is really, it like looks blue. And it's going to take out this orange tone. Because blue and orange are opposites. That is why, my friends. Okay, so I'm going to be trying this 9T. It's the Chrome from Shades EQ. And it has a little bit like it's like a silvery gray base. So that has a little bit of a bluish tint to it, and we're gonna see how that looks on the orange in this hair. Since we have 2 pieces, we might as well play. So I will use that Chrome on the Platinum one too and show you what it looks like on a lighter bleached out hair. But we might as well do this one too on the orange. Okay, so we're gonna split this in half and just tone the one side. And you do need to remember that when you're toning, it's just the lightest hair that you need to tone for. And anything darker is not going to be colored. It's just gonna kind of do like a little teeny tint to it and it will look fine. All right, I think it's time to check on our 30 volume Redken. It's still kind of an orange, but it's starting to get to the yellow stage. So that's not quite done yet. This is closer to the yellow stage. You can see that it's starting to get a little bit cooler. This is the Fermisi at the 30 volume, yeah. So yeah, I think the Fermisi definitely lifts quicker and a little bit more ashy toned, which is good. So that might be my new favorite bleach. I think it is. I think I just decided that. So, very nice. I think that one might rinse soon for the yellow. And these are the ones we were trying to get platinum. They still have quite a few hours of processing. I don't even know if they'll work, but we'll just keep letting them go. This one's a little better. And it's still orangey. Platinum is really hard to get. You have to really process it a long time. A few more hours on that. Seriously, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I think it's time. It's been a few minutes. The 9B on the orange is looking good. So you can see there, look how orange this is compared to it. I'm gonna go rinse it out and we can look at the difference. Okay, so here is the blue toner on this. So you can see this is a much more natural tone of hair color than this brassy orange. So there's the side by side of the blue toner on an orange piece of hair. So yeah, there you have it. Most people I know would rather have caramel highlights that look like this. But I mean, this isn't even that horrible either if that's what they wanted, but that's when you would use a toner. If they were like, oh, those highlights are a little too orange, then you would just put the 9B toner on it right in the bowl, and then their highlights would be more of like a soft neutral color as opposed to this orange color. So there you go. See, look, if I had that in my hair, it's not that bad, but I mean, if they like it, you don't have to tone it. But if they say, oh, or if you even think that's not what I was going for, that's a little bit too orange, you can go in and tone it. And now this would actually look really pretty and caramely and light compared to black hair. So if you had someone with black hair and you were doing highlights and you highlighted all the hair and then they had these orange and black stripes, they probably don't want that. They probably want more of this natural looking brown. So that's why toners are so awesome and important. So here's that one. Let's do another one. Let's see how the titanium turned out. This is the chrome on the blue hair. So you can see it there. Let's go and rinse it out and see how it turned out. Okay, here is the titanium toner side by side. And yeah, it turned out really pretty. I think I really like that one. Do you want to compare it to, it's a little bit lighter because it's more of like a silvery tone, so it kept the tone a little bit lighter. This one darkened it a little bit more. So I like that a lot. You can see right here how the line switches over from the titanium toner over to the orange again. Like I said, here, let me see. I'll show you in, yeah, this is the titanium toner one. So that nice pretty highlight, or you would have the orange, and you can see they're pretty different. So it's really like, it's just like a finishing touch. That's what I like about toners. It just adds that really pretty tone to it and makes it look more finished, and it just looks more professional, I think. So you don't have to use them. If you can get the hair to the perfect blonde without toning, then that's definitely the target. But most of the time when you're bleaching out artificial color, it's not the perfect tone. So toners, yeah, you need to use them if you're doing color correction especially, but that is the difference. That's the titanium on orange. This is the original bleach orange that we had. This is the titanium toner. You can see the difference. Which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the titanium or the orange? Let me know. Let's go rinse the green out. So this was the green that we did on the just orangish hair that didn't really get bleached out all the way, because this isn't the one I colored red. This is just the orangish one, orangish red. All right, so this one turned out really pretty too. This is the green, the moss, or no, this is the ivy one, the 8GN. So yeah, that one turned out really pretty too. You can see that it took out the orange also, because this is more of like a reddish orange. And most of the time when there's orange undertones, it's closer to red orange, because unless it's like this color orange, it has a little bit of red in it. So if you're out of your blue toners and you really had orangish hair and you were kind of freaking out and you didn't know what to use, I think it would be okay to say it's safe to use your Ivy one, your 8GN. And that would tone it down and give it a pretty tone too. So these are all a little bit darker. And I'm going to show you what all of these toners look like on the really, really white hair too. But for now, those are not done processing, so I thought that I'd just show you what these darker ones look like. Okay, so now we get to see what happened to the red when we stuck the green on it. So this is the red weft, and we took the 8GN and we put it only on half. So let's see how it dries up. You can already see right there, it's not red anymore. So yay, it worked. Wow, this is really, really different. So this is just the red one that I had bleached out and then colored red, and then I just toned with the 8 green over on this side. So you can see this is a pretty dramatic difference. So yeah, it turned it from red back to just like a normal brown. Like you almost can't even see the line where the transition from the original weft color to the bleach was. So that worked really well. So that shows you how a green toner works on red. So here is the, what one is this? This is the 40 volume decolor or blonde dimensions. I don't see as much orange. I'm seeing more of a yellow tone now. So that's good. We're finally starting to get there. There is still a slight orange color. I would say that this is a yellow orange. Yep. So we want to try to get it over to this yellow area. I'm actually going to, let's see, this is the Redken. Let me check the other one and I'll decide which one to rinse. So we don't need them all to be platinum. Okay, let's look at this one. Yes, this is more of like a natural level 10. Yeah. So we're into the yellows now with this one. So I'm going to rinse this one out and we're going to tone this one. And you can see that the integrity of the hair is getting scary down here. It's getting stretchy. Ooh, I'm going to show you this really fast. So, because this is a weft of hair and already been chemically treated and we bleached it like crazy with 40 volume bleach, it is in sad shape. You can see these ends have actually started to break down the keratin in it and start to stretch like bubble gum. See, I can see this. I can just like pull it apart. If you were doing this on real hair, it wouldn't, and it hadn't, if it had good integrity and you had bleached the hair this much, you'd be okay. But if they bleach their hair over and over and over again, it will start to do this on their ends and start to just kind of break off like bubble gum. So if it's questionable hair and you're lightening it and you're trying to get it really light, you need to keep a really good eye on it. And as you see it start to get this really light color, you need to be doing strand tests where you actually grab the ends of the hair and stretch it. And if it does this rubber band stretchy thing, you need to take it off immediately. It is over processed and it's done. That's as far as you can go. And it usually, I've noticed it doesn't usually start to do this unless it already is like clear blonde like that. So that's actually what I was going for on this weft because I really wanted to show you what the toners were. And I don't care if this is bubblegum hair because it's not on someone's head. But if this were on someone's head, I would definitely care and I would have rinsed it off before it got to that point. However, if it doesn't, then hopefully you're doing a good haircut to where you're cutting that off because this hair up in here is actually okay. It's not in super shape, but it's not gonna break off when you blow dry it. So let's take this hair and do some toners on it now. So it's not completely dry, but usually when I tone hair, it's towel dried anyway, so that'll be kind of a good way to show you what's going on. And I have some more of this titanium left over. I'm just gonna paint, we're gonna do a strip of titanium, and then we're gonna do blue, and then we're gonna do violet, and then leave this one natural. And this will actually turn this hair silver. It will show you really what it looks like on white hair. So if you want that, if they're like, I want my hair to look silver, this is the way you would get it. You would bleach the hair out until it's as white as it could possibly go, and then you would put the titanium toner on it. Now, I would not stick a blue toner on hair this light. I'm just showing you what would happen if you did, because there really isn't any orange in this hair. So you're just gonna get this like gray, mousy color. So, but I want you to see what would happen if you use the wrong toner on really light hair. So we're doing it anyway. And just a little bit of the violet. So the violet would actually be the correct one that I would use on this hair just to get the yellow to pop out. The yellow to come out, to neutralize the yellow, I guess you would say. Okay, so you can see this is the titanium, the silver, or chrome, and this is the blue, and that is definitely gonna be blue. I'm gonna leave out this section to not be toned, and then this will be our purple. So these I'm just gonna watch because I don't actually want, and this is how you would do it in the shampoo bowl too. You would just pour it on the head, massage it in, and start to watch. As soon as you see this purple tone starting to come out, I would, you just have to sit there and kind of watch it and say, oh, is it, I kind of just rub my fingers through it. And the ends are at the point where I'd be like, I want to wash it out. But up here in the more of the root area or the mid shaft, it's not quite done. So I usually try to make sure that it has enough time to at least get It's like this fine line. You don't want the ends to be purple, but you don't want this to be like yellow or orange. So you really have to just watch it. And I think that that's pretty good. I'm gonna go rinse this out. And see, that's the thing. It doesn't take very long when you're doing it on really light hair. In fact, if it's something that you do need to take a little bit longer, if you wanna leave it on a little bit longer to deposit more, you can mix some of the crystal clear in with the color and and that would count as color. It's just a clear color base. And then you would use the equal part of the developer. So if you used a 1/2 ounce of the 9V and a 1/2 ounce of the crystal clear, then you would use 1 ounce of the developer. I'm gonna go rinse this. I'm talking too much. Okay, so now I just realized that some of you might be scared to do toners because you're afraid that the hair is going to end up looking like this or this. Let me show you what to do if that does happen. Let's dry it up really quick. We have the 9T over here, which I think turned out really pretty. And then we have the blue, which is really gray and looks like gray hair. And then we have this purple, which turned out really pretty too. This is more of like a creamier color. This has more of like a ashy, almost like a greenish tone to it. So yeah, this is the one that I usually use on my yellows. See, there we go. And it does, I might have left it on there a little bit too long. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So if you have bleached out your client, put them into the sink, put a toner on, and you're like, oh great, now their hair is blue and purple everywhere. I'm going to show you what to do to get rid of that. So I usually just mix up a little bit of 10 volume developer. Who's coming in here?
I found this flower in the grass. Come on, gotta smell this.
All right, so we have our toned hair here that we think is a little bit too blue and purple, and we're freaking out because our clients hasn't seen their head yet, but we know that it's a little too purple. Maybe don't freak out too much though. This really isn't that purple, and this is the worst part of it, and it's where I put the blue. And I told you not to put the blue on this light of hair anyway, so this probably won't happen, but if you're scared that it will, I'm going to show you what I would do to fix it. So I put just a teeny bit of my powder bleach in a little cup like this, and then get some 10 volume developer and put quite a bit of 10 volume developer, probably like 2 ounces in there. So it's mostly just developer, just a little bit of the powder. And I would mix it up with a little brush. And you want to mix it pretty good, and you'll probably want to stick some gloves on even, because this is a bleach mixture. And this is only something that you would want to do if you can do it very quickly. If it's just like the pieces around the face or just a little bit of the ends, this is what you would do. So they would have their hair in the bowl here, and it would probably be wet because you had just toned it, and so it's wet, and you can kind of see these purple tones in it. I would just grab a little bit of the bleach solution, and even with my hands with the gloves, and just kind of work it through really, really quick. And you can see it's just going to like pull that tone right out really, really quick. And you have to watch it because you don't want to start bleaching the other colors in the hair. You just want it to lighten up that, and it's already done. Oh, it's still a little teeny bit blue over there. So I'm going to do it one more time. And if you have a little bit that's just on the ends, you can even kind of dip it in here, swirl it around, and just work it into that one spot that you're freaking out about. But stop freaking out, because you shouldn't do that anyway. Because most of this can just be fixed really easily. Okay, and that's looking better. It's not the dark blue anymore, so it's close enough. And this also works on hair that has bled. If you're doing a hair color with like a black and a blonde, like black all over and a blonde highlight, and you rinsed it out and some of the black had bled over into the blonde highlight, you can also do this same mixture and just put it on the spots that have gone the bluish, purplish, black color, and it will pull that right out really quick too. So that's how you would do a quick fix for bleeders, not bleeders, but color transfer when you're rinsing out colors from a dark and a light. And you just want to hurry and grab the light and get some of the developer with a teeny bit of the bleach on there. And it will take it back down to an acceptable color. So it's still pretty platinum. But that's kind of pretty. You can see, like, let me show you here. Yeah, there we go. So once it is in the hair and blending in, oh, it looks so ratty. This poor weft is donezo. Anyway, yeah, this was the titanium section. I actually really like the titanium section. That looks pretty. This is the blue. That's the part that really does look too silver. So you know not to put a blue toner on hair this light unless you want it to look like silver gray hair. And this is the part that we put the purple on. And I think that this is very cool as far as like it's not warm at all. It's almost even a little bit gray. But if they wanted to look platinum, then that is right. So this mixed with a bunch of brown highlights would actually be really pretty. So you would see how it would look like a really platinum cool highlight in this, like a brown hair color. So that would be really cool. So yeah, those are the toners. And I'm going to see how our platinum one worked out. Yeah, let me show you again how to do a strand test because this is going to be bad. You just pull the hair and if it's like a rubber band, which it's stretching, it's bad and you need to rinse it off. So I need to rinse it off. Here are some really light blondes. This was the 40 volume that we did under the heat for a really long time. Like probably like 2 hours. This video is taking me forever, but this one's been going like the whole time and it's fried, but I want to show it to you. Okay, so this is just the bleach, and if you get the hair to this color, then you don't really need to tone because it's a pretty tone. And it's already like platinum on the ends pretty much, and I mean, unless you wanted it to be platinum, you wouldn't really need to tone this. This is very similar to what I already have in my hair. And I don't usually use a toner on my hair when I color it. I bleach it out until it's the color that I like, and it keeps it a little bit brighter. But I find that most of the time when I need to tone, it's because I'm removing artificial color and it just, for some reason, it just won't lift out quite as good as it needs to. And so that's why you need to cover up those unwanted tones. So, all right, so here are all of the tones we have used our toner on. This was, I think, like the titanium on an orange. You know, we just have all these different colors here. This had all of the different light toners on the same one. This one is just not toned at all. And like I said, it keeps it nice and bright. This was the green on the red. So you can see that toning makes a big difference. It can change quite a bit of the hair. Like this is a pretty dramatic change just from a toner. So toning is pretty much getting rid of an unwanted tone. So when you're doing that, always remember the color wheel. This is going to be your best friend in toning because you're always going to have to look at the hair, decide what color you don't want there, and then go to the opposite end of the color wheel. So if it's blue, it's orange, yellow, purple, green, red. Remember that. It's so very important, and I hope that this helped you guys. If it didn't help you and it just confused you, I'm sorry. Get in there and just practice as much as you possibly can. That is my only advice. Don't be afraid to use toners. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what else you want to learn about, and I will make that video for you as soon as I can, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. I'll talk to you more about how to counteract that, because a lot of the time what will happen, especially when you go to the grocery store and just buy a box dye, they'll put it on, someone will walk in with pretty dark hair and be like, oh, I want to be blonde, so I'm just going to buy this blonde hair color box, and they dump it on their head, and then their hair ends up looking like this. It's red orange.